Good morning, and Happy New Year to 2023, a phenomenon of nature, as are we. Anyway, I'm Lainey Mauger. I'm your platform host for the day, and I'd like to introduce our major players. Dr. Harris will be our principal speaker. Our celebrity singers are here to welcome us. We have Danielle Deese, who will be singing, and Katie Deese, who will be playing. And again, welcome, welcome, welcome.
I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here.
So now I will officially welcome, everyone who is present here, joining us in the sanctuary, and all of you out there in cyberspace who are joining us. That's terrific. Is there anybody here for the first time today? Yay, welcome. What about the second or third time? And all us happy old timers are back again. And Teresa's back, terrific. And now I'd like to introduce Dr. Harris, who is going to be our speaker. And I already introduced Danielle, Katie, and everybody else that's been involved. So Dr. Harris, it's yours.
Thank you, Lainey.
You're welcome, dear.
Give Lainey and the singers a big hand. Wow. We have a lot of new stuff going on today, so we're going to figure it all out as we go along. Let's see. First, we have not done our 3 affirmations, and we have them on the screen. Here we are. And let us do these together. There is only one presence and one power active in the universe and in my life. God, the good omnipotence. I am a beloved expression of God. I am here for a holy purpose. I am in the right place at the right time right now. So it is. Wow. This is New Year's Sunday, the first day of the year. This is very unusual for the first day of the year to come on a Sunday. And so we're sort of introducing some new things. And one of the foundations of the unity experience is the daily word. And so we wanted to incorporate that into the service. And Teresa Rodriguez is going to read from the daily word before we do our meditation. Teresa.
Fresh start. Centered in God, I create a fresh new life. I begin this year with renewed enthusiasm and fresh perspective. I feel vibrantly alive as I realize that all the love, wisdom, energy, and strength of God are mine to express in my life right now. Grateful for the lessons of life experience, I release past disappointments with a forgiving heart. I find harmony in my relationships as I look beyond differences and focus on the divine life and love that unite all people. I go about my work seeking to serve others with a humble heart. I find ways to develop and evolve my skills and nurture my talents, allowing me to continue to grow and learn. This year, I will thrive in all areas of life as I feel God's presence everywhere I go and in everything I do. And the one who was seated on the throne said, "See, I am making all things new." Revelation 21:5. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's give her a hand. I'm so glad to hear the reading of the word from the daily word. I mean, that's like the oasis for our minds. And it was such a perfect reading for today and for this period. So what we'll do now is we're going to do our meditation, because meditation is a way to center ourselves so that we can be in the proper framework, the proper mindset to receive the message and to really enjoy the experience of being here. And so let us do, we call it the baggage meditation. Sit straight up in your seats. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. Take a deep breath. Hold it. Let it out slowly. And in this space of peace and relaxation, I am at peace with myself. Let us affirm that together. I am at peace with myself. Let's whisper it. I am at peace with myself. And in this moment of peace and relaxation, I would like for us to visualize we're on a plane. And this plane is flying from 2022 into 2023. We've been on planes before, and you know that feeling when the plane comes in to the airport. You get off the plane, and you see yourself walking down the corridors of the airport to the baggage claim. And as you walk into the baggage claim area, you see your bags. The bags you brought with you from 2022. Let's just take a deep breath as we see those bags. And first we see the bags of thought. And we see negative thoughts, thoughts of lack and limitation. Leave those bags. on the baggage counter. But now you see the bag of positive thinking, of abundance, of good health. Take those bags with you. Now see the bags of emotion coming down the conveyor belt. There's the emotion of fear. Leave it there. But pick up the emotion of faith. There's the emotion of insecurity. Leave it there. Pick up the emotion of courage. And maybe the emotion of hate. Leave it there. And pick up the emotion of love. Along come your habit baggage. And leave that habit of procrastination on the conveyor belt. And bring into this new year the habit of do it now in organization. And finally, those many bags of relationships. Many of those bags you must leave upon that conveyor belt. Relationships of negativity, relationships of jealousy, relationships of envy. Leave them there. And pick up the bags of love and balance and compassion. And now with your bags, your positive thoughts, your positive emotions, your positive habits, and your positive relationships, you may now leave the airport and begin your life in the new year. Take a deep breath. Let it out slowly. And so it is. Wow. I was in that airport. We're in that airport. You know, life is like that, though. It's about choosing the baggage that you take with you. This is the first day of the new year, and I want to give a hand to the musician. I tell you, Katie, you're always here, and you always pick the right songs. Give Katie a hand, because she's like the rock. If Katie wasn't here, I'd have to play, and I only know 2 songs. They get tired very quickly. Also, really give recognition to the board, because it is because of a strong board of directors and the members of the board working together that makes this all happen. And Lanny often speaks for the board, and just give the board a hand, because, wow. We've come a long way, haven't we? Wow. So give yourselves a hand, because we couldn't do it without you. We have our prayer team today. We're our prayer partners today. There we go. All right. Thank you so much. Excellent. She'll be there. Teresa Rodriguez will be there for any prayer needs and prayer requests to help you. As we go into our message today, I'd like for us to think about this new year and how we have the ability to change it and make it exactly the way we want it to be. A part of that power is to affirm it the way we want it to be. You know, the power of affirmation, the third law of success, the fourth law of success is the law of command. What you say is what you get. And so if there's anything you get away from this message today, from this moment on, only say good things for this year. Only say great things. I have a great affirmation, and I love to say it, and today is a great day for living, sharing, and being alive. Let's say that together. Today is a great day for living, sharing, and being alive. Wow. Doesn't that make you feel good? Because we create the day. God creates the weather, but we create our respond to it. You know, some days it may be snow. We've had a lot of snow, and there's some folks that don't like it, but then all the skiers are like, thank you, Lord. So it's all a matter of perspective. I also like to do some personal affirmations. I kind of like to get everybody moving a little bit. I feel great today. Let's say that together. I feel great today. Thanks, Thomas. Thomas said, I feel great. Yes. Let's do beautiful together. I feel beautiful today. How about healthy? I think that's really important. Together. I feel healthy today. Beautiful. Give yourselves a hand. We're programming this right on. So, our topic for today is Power Start Your New Year. You know, when the new year comes, it always has such incredible potential. And there's a lovely quote that says, never underestimate the power you have to take your life into a new direction. Germany Kent said that. Never underestimate the power you have to take your life into a new direction. We are where we are because of our choices. The choices that we make and the actions we take. The only thing about choices lead to decisions. And one of the great teachers once was approached by a young student who wanted to know the secret of life, and he said, well, what's the secret of life? And the teacher said, right choices. He said, well, how do you learn to make right choices? Experience. How do you get experience? Wrong choices. And it's, but that seems to be the learning process. And the key point is to, when we make a wrong decision over this year, to look at it as a lesson. In life, there are only victories and lessons. Some of us have had a lot of lessons. Man, all last year was a lesson in many regards. So, as we look at this new year, we realize that we have a great potential. We have the ability to create it exactly the way we want it to be. And so let us choose to focus. Where focus goes, power flows. Whatever you focus on grows. If you focus on the good, it's good. If you focus on the bad, it's bad. Henry Ford said, if you think you're right or you think you're wrong, you're correct. If you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. So what you focus on grows to great extent. So this year, let us commit to focus on positive thoughts. Let's focus on good health. I went to a class reunion, and so many of my classmates have had health challenges, and that was the entire topic of conversation. It was almost as though people were trying to out-sick each other. Well, I got arthritis in my left leg. I got arthritis in both legs. I felt so bad, another, I got a pacemaker. And another says he has what's that thing, an agitator, a thing that shocks your heart to make it move again. It's like a defibrillator, yeah. Yeah, he has a personal, a portable defibrillator. And I listened to it, and I said, you know what? Lesson, get away from negative stuff. Because if I kept sitting there listening, I would get it. You have to be careful who you listen to over this next year, and to recognize that there are things you can't fix. There was a man on the Golden Gate Bridge about to jump, and a good Samaritan came up and said, listen, it can't be that bad. There's always hope. And the man started telling his woes, all the terrible things that were happening in his life. Next thing you know, both of them jumped off the bridge. So this year, can we agree? Be careful about who you listen to. Say yes. Yes. let us focus on positive emotions. You know, right now we're in this, I hate to turn the TV on because there's so many vibrations of negativity, of hate, and, you know, just things that don't feel good. But we can fend through that by choosing to focus on positive emotions. Choose to be faithful, to focus on faith. Choose to be compassionate. Choose love. You know, when you love things, you know, I think one of the problems with the English language is we don't value love enough. We only have one word for love. The Eskimos have 50 words for snow. Because it's important, the wrong kind of snow, and you could freeze to death. But we seem limited in love, and so we may love our spouse, we may love our friends, we may love our dog, we may love our car. Same word, but a very different connotation. So let us focus on the positive emotions of love and compassion. Let's leave behind doubt and insecurity. Habits. Habits determine our lives. One of the great ones said, in the beginning you determine your habits, and in the end your habits determine you. And so we know what our bad habits are, don't we? You know, some of us have habit of disorganization. You know, I'll raise my hand to that. You come into my office, you'll say, like, you've been robbed. I mean, that's just the way I operate. Everything I want it right in front of me, and so I put it here, put it there, and then eventually I'm putting something on top of what I put over here and something on top of what I put. You know how that goes. So I know as a person this year, I have to be more organized. So think about, what do you need, what habits do you need to replace this year? When you go home, think about that. The habits you need to replace. Sometimes it may be a habit of letting too many people close to you too quick. I mean, I'm learning that everybody may not be the right person for you at that moment. So get in the habit of giving a little space before you see who people really are. The habit of procrastination, overcome that. Develop the habit of do it now. And focus on those positive relationships based on respect, balance, and love. So how do we do this? That sounded pretty good. Like, that sounds like a good thing, but how do you actually do it? And there are 4 keys to power starting your new year. They are a new mindset, a new skill set, a new toolbox, and a new commitment. So let's look at this new mindset. This is important because many of us have had like a prodigal son type year. Has anybody had a prodigal son type year where, okay, yes. One of those kind of years where things just didn't go right. Well, the beautiful thing about the prodigal son is that once he realized he was in a bad situation, you know, when you're in the pig pens of life, when the pigs are asking you why you're here. When you're falling down that low in life, to still be able to say, I will arise and go to my Father. And so this whole idea of a new mindset is to forget what happened last year. Forget all the disappointments, all the failures, and focus on the good stuff you want to happen this year. We did a talk last time about goals. And we could go into that, but if you have not today, this day, before the sun goes down, if you haven't written your goals and written them in a way that you can read them over 3 and 4 times a day, then this day, the sun should not go down until you've done that. When we commit to positive thoughts, that new mindset, good health, abundance, and peace, something happens. Whatever you seek, you get. You know, Scripture is so powerful. It says, seek and you shall find. But that works both positively and negatively. So if you seek sickness, you'll find sickness. But if you seek health, you'll find health. So seek and you shall find. And you implement this new mindset for this new year by 4 keys, 4 steps. Number 1, self-responsible. You got to be responsible for what happens to you this year. If it's to be, it's up to me. Let's say that together. If it's to be, it's up to me. See, the moment we really focus on our own capacity and say, hey, if it's going to happen, I got to do it. That's the key point. So self-responsible. Take responsibility for creating the life you desire. Earl Nightingale said, we become what we think about most of the time. So think about good stuff. Think about good health. Think about positive relationships. Think about all the good stuff you want. We must be self-motivated. And I wish, I'm glad a young person is here, and I love to see young people, because when they can learn some of these things early, it can save a lot of mileage, okay? It can really help you. And that idea of self-motivated, that this year forward, ring your own bell. Don't wait for somebody else to make it happen for you. I have a friend that's been waiting to be discovered. Talented person. I mean, really, if I could sing like that person, I'd be on The Voice. I'd win. But he's still waiting to be discovered. He's a diamond sitting there, not even a diamond in the rough. Anybody who hears him sing say, my goodness, you should be a star. But there's something in his mind that keeps him waiting for somebody else. So I challenge everybody in the room, are you waiting for somebody else to help you do something that's important to you? But this year, say, no, I am self-motivated. I ring my own bell. The third self is to be self-determined. Sometimes people win because they refuse to lose. If you ever watched the Muhammad Ali, the Rumble in the Jungle, when he fought George Foreman. I was in New York. In those days, they didn't have the television, the fight pay-per-view. They actually had the fights. You went to the movie theater. You remember that? Yeah. You go to the movie theater and you see it happen. And the theater was packed and we were watching the fight. And George Foreman's beating him silly. And I'm sitting there saying, man, Ali should not have taken that fight. He knew he wasn't in shape. He hasn't fought for a number of years. He should not have done it. But Ali had a strategy. He had a desire to win. And so his strategy was simple. I'll just outlast him. I'll refuse to lose. Ali's thought was, all I have to do is don't go down. And George punched and punched and punched. And by the seventh round, now, interesting how we who observe things have a certain opinion of it. I was so disappointed, I went out to get popcorn. I just couldn't take it anymore. The guy's beating Ali to death. Oh, no, please stop. While I'm in the line waiting to get popcorn, I hear this roar coming in from like, what happened, what happened, what happened? Thank goodness they did have some kind of instant replay, but it wasn't like we know it today. Ali had dispensed with him like, pew. Foreman was punched out. And see, determination is key, because determination is fueled by your desire. Whatever you want to do, be, and have this year, if you don't desire it badly enough, deeply enough, it probably will not happen. So self-determined, whatever it is, only success. Let's say that together. Only success. The fourth key is to be self-functional. And that's something that I love about the unity paradigm. Church, the mission, the institution, is it's a learning environment. And so life is a skill. You can learn, practice, and master life. And unity is a very encouraging environment. It encourages people to read, to study, to learn more about themselves so that they can rise above. And so this idea of self-functional is to realize that you must learn, practice, and master the rules of life. When we wrote the 12 Universal Laws of Success, we were looking to find the rules of life. That if you think it, you're going to become it. That you can change your life by changing your thinking. That where there's no vision, the people perish. You must have a vision. And so once you understand the rules and how to apply them, you're ready to roll. As a tool to help reprogram ourselves this year, I have a gift for each and every one of you. When we finish the service, I will be in the back, and I'm going to give you a programming tool, 12 affirmations to live by, to start to reprogram this year. Things like, I have a positive self-image. I believe in myself. I define my purpose. Because it's this reprogramming through this new mindset that you create a new reality. So, let us say together, new mindset together. New mindset. Let's make it personal. I have a new mindset. I have a new mindset. Beautiful. Wow. The second key is a new skill set. We have to have a new way of processing things based on faith and wisdom instead of fear and ignorance. Do you know that each of us is much smarter than we give ourselves credit for? I mean, the fact that we're here right now, there are a lot of people who were not here, who were here last year. And so the fact that we're here right now means that we have mastered certain things about living. We've taken care of ourselves. We've taken care of our health. We've taken care of our minds. We've taken care of our bodies. Scripture says that my people are lost not because they don't have knowledge, but they reject knowledge. And so this new skill set is to learn the things that you must learn to do what you want to do to become the person you want to be. Just a few little thoughts. Over this next year, confront issues rather than avoid them. Many of the problems we find ourselves in are because we didn't take care of them when they were little problems. You know, often a problem is like a rock in your shoe. It's okay to walk around the block, but you try walking a mile with a rock in your shoe. To act boldly instead of timidly. I mean, this world, we find that as there's more and more rancor and confrontation, that you have to act boldly for the right and for yourself. Follow through. Follow through is key. Follow through to completion. Anything you set out to do this year, commit to follow through to finish it. Because if you don't finish it, you don't get the blessing. You know, we have the ability to create things, and so often we'll be 1 foot from the finish line and quit. Let somebody tell us it's impossible and stop. Yeah, maybe they're right. Man, can you imagine if Thomas Edison had said, yeah, this light bulb stuff, if God meant there to be light bulbs, they would grow on trees. We'd be sitting here in the dark. Be prepared. Before you take action this next year, make preparation. Before any decision, take a little time. I like that, the 24-hour rule. Whenever things confront me, I take a little extra time to figure it out, to make sure that my mind is and my vibration is right for the outcome. Speak up for yourself. This is, in this day, this is, I'm not saying do it on social media, because, but in the interaction with people, we are still an organization, we are still a world of people who interact. So speak up for yourself and for others. That's important. So this new skill set will help you be prepared to make this year your year for success. Successful people do daily what unsuccessful people do sometimes. So in your skill set, develop a daily method of operation that you do every day. You make your plans, you lay out your goals, you read them over 3 or 4 times a day. So let's repeat, I have a new skill set together. I have a new skill set. The third key is the new toolbox. And the toolbox is the stuff that you have that helps you negotiate life. I'm going to just take a little thing out of my toolbox. You know, books are critical. And every book tells you to be on a reading program. And of course, you know the 12 Universal Laws of Success. I'm always promoting our own book. But pick out the books that you leave. One of the books that I love is Neville, Resurrection. Powerful book, especially at this time of year. Another book I really love is Robert Collier's Secret of the Ages. I've been reading it and protecting and guarding it so much that I couldn't find it today. But some of the other goodies, some of the courses. One of the courses, the New You for the New Year Home Study course. I'm a proponent of learn as much as you can. So what courses do you need to take over this next year to help you be better? To do that evaluation, let's say I got some other stuff in my toolbox. Remember we did the talk on victories and lessons? To refer back to that, what are some of the lessons I've learned last year that I can now apply this year? And of course, you got to have you be aware of your health, your nutritional supplements, whatever you take. Health is critical. There's an Arabian proverb that says, he who has health has hope. He who has hope has everything. And then your goals. Your goals should be in your toolbox to refer to over and over. So when you call a tradesman to come to your house, he brings his toolbox. That's your toolbox. So with our new toolbox, we make a new commitment. With our new toolbox, we learn, practice, and master, and we have the things that can help us get better. The fourth and final is a new commitment, and this is where we close out. A new commitment based on understanding and experience. All of us are much wiser than we ever thought. So now let's put that wisdom to action. A new commitment that identifies one that really connects you with your source. You know, there are different levels of vibration, but the relationship between you and your source, God, the Creator, to recognize not just who you are, but whose you are. The moment you say, I am the created product of an all-powerful, all-knowing God, it changes your perspective about yourself. A new commitment to other people based on respect and love and balance. We don't hear a lot of talk about balance, but when you're talking about love and relationships, there has to be balance. If you look back over your life, many of the relationships that went off kilter were because they were out of balance. Maybe you were too willing to make it work. Maybe you thought somebody would change. People don't change unless they choose to change. A new commitment to the growth process. And the growth process is really, I like to look at E equals MC squared, that energy, vibration, equals manifestation times the speed of light. So any thought that you have, any desire that you have is a vibration, and it means that it's possible. Now, you may not have the ability to see the possibility, to see the manifestation, but if you stick with it and hang in there, it will happen. And so let us summarize today. Every moment is a new beginning that's crafted by the choices we make and the actions we take. We have the power to create our world exactly the way we want it to be. And we can use the 4 keys of a new mindset: positive thoughts, uplifting emotions, empowering habits, loving relationships. A new skill set based on faith and wisdom. A new toolbox where we always stay in the learning mode. We never know. The whole idea of that new toolbox is that as we learn more and we grow, there's always something else. And then a new commitment to our source, of our relationship with the Creator, to ourselves, that we are good people, to others in right relationship, and to the process of manifestation. And that simply means that if we work at it, if we hang in there, it's going to happen. Anything you desire will manifest if you just keep working at it. So let us stand and let's close out together. Was this helpful? Yes. Okay. You know, this day is such a special day because everybody in the whole world is making resolutions and saying this is the one day that everybody's thinking about going forward and the new year. And so I'm just glad that we're here in this vibration. So we have some closing affirmations. I have a new mindset based on wisdom and truth. Together. I have a new mindset based on wisdom and truth. I have a new skill set to process my growth together. I have a new skill set to process my growth. I have a new toolbox that facilitates my growth together. I have a new toolbox that facilitates my growth. And I have a new commitment that guides me to my purpose. I have a new commitment that guides me to my purpose. And so it is. Give yourselves a hand. Thank you so much. You may be seated. Happy New You. Let's say that together. Happy New You. Wow, thank you. Let's see now. What are we supposed to do now, Katie? Let's take up the offering. And yes, this is a time for giving. And those of you out in television land or online, be sure to go to the website. There are a number of ways to give. Be sure to help this ministry grow. So many good things are happening here. When you're in Wilmington, be sure to come out. This is the Oasis in Wilmington, North Carolina, where you can come and find people who care about you, who love you, and who are impressed and want to help you grow. So, go right ahead. We'll collect. Yes, do we have a song that we're doing for the collection? Yes. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am and all that I give and that all that I receive. And so it is. All right.
I've been staring at the edge of the water long as I can remember, never really knowing why. I wish that I could be the perfect daughter, and when I come back to the water, no matter how hard I try, every turn I take, every trail I track, every path I make, every road leads back to the place I know where I cannot go, though I long to be. See the line where the sky meets the sea, it calls me, and no one knows how far it goes, and the wind in my sail on the sea stays behind me. One day I'll know, if I go there's just no telling how far I'll go. I know everybody on this island seems so happy on this island. Everything is by design. I know everybody on this island has a role on this island, so maybe I can roll with mine. I can lead with pride, I can make us strong. I'll be satisfied if I play along. The voice inside sings a different song. What is wrong with me? See the light as it shines on the sea, it calls me, and no one knows how deep it goes, and it seems like it's calling out to me, so come find me. One day I'll know what's beyond that line. Will I cross that line? If you fly with the sky, with the sea, it calls me, and no one knows how deep it goes. If the wind in my sail on the sea stays behind me, one day I'll know how far I'll go.
Danielle, thank you very, very much. How far we'll go, yes, very far. I want to thank you all for your contributions and sharing as we grow here. And now all programs have their announcements, and that's my next job. This is going to be as busy week the first week of January as it has been the past several weeks. On Wednesday, the 4th, at 7 o'clock in the evening, we will have our Burning Bowl and White Stone ceremony. Reverend Susan will be leading us in that, so I invite you all to come back. It's a very delightful letting go and naming and claiming what we want to have happening in 23. So please come back for that. Then on Friday we eat. The ladies will be lunching at the Basics in Wilmington at noon. That's downtown. Please note we'll be eating in the second floor dining room upstairs, so there will be steps to climb. Then on next Sunday we eat again. It's a never-ending process. Super Sunday is next Sunday, and usually the first time in January is the the beans and black-eyed peas and something or other. That one. So please bring your contributions and join us in whatever we're having on Super Sunday. The following Sunday, Kirtan, who some of you have been here to visit with her on Sunday after service, she does a meditation service with drums and chanting, and it is very impressive and very relaxing. So please join us for that. On the 18th, which is a Wednesday, we will be having a prayer meditation workshop, and that will be at 7 o'clock in the evening. Teresa will be leading that, which will be a good thing. And that'll be primarily a monthly occurrence on the Wednesday of the month. So please join us in praying and meditating. The last thing for the day is that as Christmas went up and we had to prepare and take everything down, we now have to put everything away. So I'm looking for a few handy, strong people that will help us put the stuff back into the garage. Meet with us after the service and we will do that. So now we have our prayer for protection and our closing song. So please stand for the prayer for protection. The light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The prayer of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as Creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
May the power of God uplift us. May the love of God unfold us. May the wisdom of God direct us each and every step of the way. Wherever God is, wherever we are, God is, and all is well.